Welcome back, everyone, to the Division 1 playoffs. We are now in the winners bracket second round as the champions of Division 1.1, Irrelevant Esports, formerly known as Blizzard Wizards, will take the pitch in the playoffs for the first time against Astro Zenith, who just came through a 5-game series against Godalian's Divinity in the winners bracket first round. And one of these teams will clinch their place in Championship Sunday. They will move on to the next round, which will be played tomorrow, as the loser will drop down to the lower bracket and get one more opportunity to seal their place in tomorrow's matches. So both of these teams have got a good chance here to advance to the next round without too much pressure against them. It should be an interesting series to watch, and joining me to help cast this one is Blue Wolf. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Looking forward to hopefully some great Rocket League. Second game of the evening for me. I had a little bit of break in between these the last game and this one, so plenty of time to get hyped, get excited for what hopefully will be a very, very, very high quality match.
So Astro Zenith defeated Godalian's Divinity in Game 5, taking a 2-0 victory in the decider in that one. Just 17 goals scored in the series between the two sides, and 3 of the games were clean sheets. So the Astro Zenith defense is looking pretty decent at the moment, as they made 17 saves in that series, but they're going to be tested by an Irrelevant Esports roster that really kicked into gear as soon as they became the Blizzard Wizards and ended up finishing top of Division 1.1 with a 7-2 record. So deservedly top, but not an impenetrable team that was really dominant in league play. Deserve to be where they are, but the playoffs will be an interesting test for them.
Yeah, a lot of times when you get to playoffs, sometimes people make the question, is it favourable to have played before played your second match, or sorry, completely mess my words up here. Is it better to come in later, or is it better to have already played a match? Astro Zenith, they had the chance to play against Italians, as you said. They won that game, so they're a bit more warmed up. They're a bit more, at the pace of this game. ILV Esports, they're coming in sort of raw. It'd be interesting to see if they need time to sort of get up to full speed. When we've seen when they are at full speed, they're a force to be reckoned with, and hopefully they will get up to that speed at least at some point during the series, if not from the get-go.
Yeah, and if they win it, it will be their only match of the evening. It will be job done into the Sunday matches. So they haven't really had to gear themselves up for what you typically expect of a slipstream playoffs on this day one, which is a potentially dogged, grinding run through multiple matches in succession. This is just a case of turn up, win a best of 5, and you're into the next round of the playoffs, which surely favours Irrelevant Esports because it's essentially what they've been doing all season. As far as they're concerned, if they win this one, they can just pretend that they weren't in a playoff match at all.
Yeah, take it easy, kick the feet back, have a little relax. It's something that I'm happy to do since I'm not on camera for once. Just do whatever I want. Do all sorts of rude gestures, whatever I feel like, as we have got our final 3 players into the server. Charm, Boss, and Hypes will be here. So I think we should just get this one underway. Herbie, who are you predicting to take this victory?
Well, I'm a big fan of this Irrelevant Esports roster since they were acquired, formerly known as the Blizzard Wizards. They're a team that has been around the ECC for quite a while, and they will be very keen to try and take the Division 1 title in these playoffs. So I will back them to get off to a good start with a win. Astro Zenith, yes, they progressed in 5 games against Godalian's Divinity, but it was a match between 2 of the lower seeds in this Division 1 playoffs, and they looked very well matched. Irrelevant Esports should be an entirely different beast for this Astro Zenith team to contend with, so I will give it to ILV in 4 games.
ILV in 4 games. Will they take that long? Will they end up even potentially losing? We are live into the action. Any chances coming through? Nothing really sticking. It's Astro Allegiance who have the majority of, or Astro Zenith, sorry. Astro Allegiance are a completely different team. They're not here. They're on the A stream, I think, at the moment. If I'm correct in saying that, Herbie?
It is ILV Crimson versus Astro Allegiance on the A stream at the moment. You can catch that by using the command in the chat or even opening up a multi-switch. Regardless, it is an ILV versus Astro sort of derby on both of these channels at the moment. So not just advancement in the playoffs up for grabs, but also perhaps a little bit of clout between these two organisations.
It would not be a good look at all to see two different rosters within your organisation losing to another 2 rosters from a different organisation, simultaneously. Simultaneous humiliation, perhaps, as Tears was able to get that ball away. Taking it long, drops it down to Instinct, now in possession, about the halfway line. He's flicking this inside, looking to try and find that opening goal. Not going to happen. Eventually the ball is 50 the blue team's way. It's going to be cleared away, knocked back into the centre. It's a passing play. Charm is there. Instinct able to make the save. Ball is eventually knocked away, not very far. This blue team, they're desperately scrambling back. Thankfully, Charm is there and able to poke it back the other direction. But a pinball here at the moment. Neither of these two sides able to really make a lot of shots stick. We've had just 2 so far. They were all the way of ILV. That's our first one there for Astro Zenith.
No score in the first 2 minutes of this game one. It has been quite a slow start, not befitting of a playoff series, but perhaps as soon as one team gets on the board, things will change up dramatically. Instinct, a bit of an awkward touch there, that's going to put Boboliak up under some pressure. Charm may have an opportunity to shoot, but Instinct was quickly off their line to make the block. Hype to bang that one forwards, looking for Charm in front, but intercepted at the halfway line. It is really scrappy at the moment. Neither of these teams really look like they've settled into their top gear yet.
Oh, that would have been a chance to settle in. Hypes with a shot. Bobo just cutting across the net, able to whack it onto his own crossbar. Denies the early-ish goal here. Half the game is gone. We talked about needing these two teams getting into gear. It seems like you saying that has spurred this ILV side to get things going, start showing us what they're capable of. That's hit well wide. Astro Zenith with a chance to clear their lines. Taser up in the air, going for it, not really able to get it going. Instinct's going to knock it to the corner towards Bobo. That's that ball run a little bit, ends up just hitting it straight into Boss. Falls to Taser again in the corner. Charm looking for it, not going to get it. Instinct's the one with the touch away. This Astro Zenith side, they're starting to get grinded on a little bit by this ILV squad. Shots coming through, a lot of pressure at this moment. Astro Zenith, they are just hanging on a little bit.
Well, that was a good shot on there, but saved by Teaser towards the corner. And I think you're right about ILV kicking into gear, and that's perhaps because they're very aware of their status as favourites in this series. Astro Zenith are the clear underdogs, so as long as this game remains 0-0, the momentum is kind of swinging in Astro Zenith's favour by virtue of them having not conceded to the superior seeds. And with 90 seconds to go, it could well be a case of a single goal winning this game one. Astro Zenith, the team on the attack at the moment, as it's Instinct lifted in a shot, which is saved by Hype. Instinct will go again, looking for a pass across to Boboliak in front of the net, but didn't get the contact they were hoping for.
I'd be shocked if it wasn't a 1-goal game based on what we've seen so far. Neither of these teams looking particularly potent. That ball was lofted in. No chance going to be found. 1 minute on the clock. Teaser hitting it up in the air. Boss with a touch on. That's going to need some saving from Instinct. Don't think he had to sweat too hard about that one as the ball is lobbed long. Again, this orange team, they're not really getting anything going when they get the ball down the other end of the pitch. It just seems like inevitable that the blue team will be able to clear their lines as they do now. Boss with it, takes it long. Charm with a good take off him. Tries to get into that corner, make it bounce nicely into the centre. It's not going to do so. This is orange team that counted down. It's pinch off the orange man. ILV and Astro Zenith, there's so much hype going into this game. It's kind of disappointing so far. Neither of these two teams really creating any sort of super hype moments. We just had that one save by Instinct from the shot of Charm.
Oh, I'm really surprised at the moment with what we've seen from the opening stanza of this series. Are we watching Rocket League or are we watching golf? It's not been a high intensity between these two teams, and they may go to overtime. There could be a winner beforehand, but I think we knew quite some time ago that this game was likely to go to OT at 0-0. The question that I'm asking at the moment, how long is it going to be until someone actually scores?
Oh dear. I don't want to answer that, Herbie. I hope it's soon, for both of our sakes and for the schedule's sakes. We've had a lot of delays today. It'd be nice for a quick series to get us back on track. It doesn't look like either of these two teams can come anywhere near making a sweep. That ball's into the centre, and we have had our first goal. Taken a little while, Bobo to get it. Astro Zenith, they found the first goal and the first game of the series.
Yeah, that's the first real clinical moment of the game, and it turned out to be the difference maker between the two teams. Boboliak has a tough angle to shoot from, but finds the bottom left corner with a coolly taken shot. And Astro Zenith, the underdogs, Irrelevant Esports, the higher seeds, have dropped the first game of the series without scoring a goal, outshooting Astro Zenith 5-4, but it was a quiet game from start to finish. The credit has to go to Astro Zenith, I think, for absorbing pressure. I think the best chances of regulation did go to Irrelevant Esports, and when an opportunity presented itself in OT, they did take it. So I think they'll be high on confidence heading into the second game of the series, but we really need to see Irrelevant Esports kick into gear.
Yeah, I don't really want to hype Astro Zenith up too much. It wasn't a ground earth-shattering performance. It was a bit of a... They hung in there just as much as ILV Esports did. It's just that they were able to grind out that goal at the end. I'm not going to really praise them too much. I feel like these sides, they were exceptionally evenly matched throughout that game one. We're still waiting for one of them to kick into gear, get that advantage going, get grinding out their opponents and start putting balls in the back of the net. They only did it once there. Couldn't even do it in regulation, Herbie. It's absolutely insane how underwhelming both these teams have been so far. Because it's not like there's been some insane defensive work coming out. It's just the shots have not been at all threatening.
Well, the thing about the playoffs is it doesn't really matter how you win as long as you do win. And Astro Zenith have at least taken the first step. They've got themselves a game win in the Saturday playoffs. 2 away from securing their place in Championship Sunday. Will we have a goal in regulation to perhaps open things up? Yes, we will. 21 seconds in, Irrelevant Esports have their first goal of the series as Charm fired in a pretty dangerous shot that Bobo Liak had to make a save on. There was nobody in position to stop Bossy's opportunity.
That's more like it, Herbie. That's exactly what we want to see. Good defensive work there. It's surprising the first shot didn't come in. Falls to the man on the edge of the box, able to hit it down and into the net between the two players, desperately trying to hold into that net. That should be a second goal. Charm should have put that one on target. Boss unable to turn it in. Second time of asking. There might have been a third there for hype. Ball not going to be followed through. It's not back to the halfway line where Boss is driving backwards for it. It's Charm to get the touch. It's going to be going the opposite direction now. Teaser up in the air, has missed it. Charm's gone for it a bit weirdly. It's sort of hanging on that halfway line before it's eventually knocked down to Bobble. Able to make an air dribble of his own, knocks it into Instinct and Boss. You're up for it. Boss able to get it, and Charm to knock it away. Charm with the chance to shoot, not going to go for the shot. Goes for the corner instead. And there's two orange players sitting waiting. So Astro Zenith, they're a bit shell-shocked by this early pressure from ILV Esports, who seem to have just found their shooting boots in between the breaks of these games here.
Over on the A stream, Astro Allegiance took the opening game of that series 4-1, so it's definitely advantage Astro at the moment, but 2-0 in this game to Irrelevant Esports, who, as you said, looked to have kicked into gear offensively. Hype's follow-up shot, not the best. It was near a defender, but the initial pass downwards from his teammate off the backboard was a good one. And 2-0, they are looking more confident.
It's a very frustrating one to concede that ball bouncing off the front of your car. That ball is still hanging. It's hanging around that Astro Zenith net way more than they would be comfortable with. So much pressure being put on by ILV Esports. 8 shots already, and we've only played a minute and a half. 0 going the opposite direction. Astro Zenith pinned into their own half throughout most of this game, and they're in their own half at the moment. They're looking to get out. Decent touch by Teaser. Boss has missed it. Charm does get it in the end. Knocks it forward. Looking to centre this one. It's knocked across excellently. Bobbly cutting across, sliding that ball underneath his car and able to get it out of his own penalty area. They're holding a little bit firmer now defensively. Their defence has improved as this game's gone on, but they need to start turning that ball the opposite direction, Herbie. Getting out of their own half and making their own attacks.
Well, you snooze, you lose is a pretty popular mantra around the globe, and it couldn't be more true in this series. Irrelevant Esports snoozed and lost the first game of the series, and now it seems to be swinging in the other direction, with Astro Zenith rarely getting forwards, and Irrelevant Esports have woken up in regulation with a couple of important goals, in control of this game at the halfway point. Still plenty of time for Astro Zenith to get back into it, and perhaps it was important that the first game of the series went Astro Zenith's way, when realistically either team could have won it with one big opportunity in OT. So it looks like we could be headed for a 1-1 series after these first 2 games.
Well, 1-1 could set us up nicely for the future series. 1-1 feels fair, considering these two teams, they've been fairly even. I mean, it could easily be 2-0 considering the first game was such an absolute goal drought. Two teams so evenly matched. This one has been all ILV Esports. Bobo, you try and get things started from an Astro Zenith perspective. Not going to do it. Instinct centered it well. Teaser is dead, so Charm is able to knock that ball away fairly easily. Bobo's still alive. Centers that one. Boss able to save again. Ball still hanging about near that blue penalty area. Boss up for it. Instinct looking to center it. It's not going to happen at the moment. This Astro Zenith side, they need to sort something out soon. Maybe they're just playing at the same level they did last game. It's just the difference has been that ILV Esports, they found their form, found their footing. They're just absolutely pounding them at the moment.
Yeah, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, this is not really out of character for Astro Zenith, who participated in the series against Daedalian's Divinity, and there was just 17 goals in that. Astro scored just 9 in 5, and that lack of offensive consistency seems to be following them into this second series. The relevant esports perhaps were absorbed by that in the first game. 2-0 in this one. Will it be free? There's an open net, and Bossy is going to make no mistake on that one to score their second of the game. All the offensive pressure has definitely been with the relevant esports. They've registered a very respectable 10 shots on target.
Very respectable. Minute to go as well. Could easily be more. Could get up to 15, maybe even 20. They really get their shooting boots on. Just 2 go in the opposite direction. Bobble with both of those. One of them was a cross. Can't remember the other. Really shows you how amazing their attack has been. I say amazing in a sarcastic way. It's been very, very underwhelming. It was Bobo up in the air, misses that one. Sorry, it was Instinct, sorry. A name I don't think we've said at all here. Shows how quiet he's been. That's knocked well across the net by Charm. 35 seconds on the clock. This one I thought was going to be over, but somehow from nothing, Instinct's found a goal, and there might be a way back for Astro Zenith.
Yeah, Instinct must have heard you, because they just took on possession in their own corner and then fired in a shot from distance. Nobody was home for irrelevant esports, and I think that's a byproduct of the team not really having to do any defending in this game. They had their players committed very far at the pitch, assuming that they had the game won and were looking for extra goals, but it's never quite that simple, especially in the playoffs, and it's now 3-1. If Astro Zenith can get forwards and maybe get another one soonish, you never know what can happen from the following kickoff. They do have the ball in the offensive third. Teaser look to drop it down. Instinct is in there, and it's 3-2. This series has burst into life as Instinct has gotten Astro right back in it. Is there still time for them?
Doesn't matter what you do in the first 4 minutes, if you let it all slide in the final one. 17 seconds on the clock. It's enough to score a goal. It's enough to even score 2. It looks like overtime have to be the goal for this Astro Zenith side if they're able to score that goal. Instinct with a chance to take the ball under control. As it hits it forward, it's hyped to take it away. Teaser wins it well. One, they're going for that sort of pinch passing play. It's wide of the net. That flick is decent. Boss is in the right place. Teaser's demoed him out of frustration. High cuts that ball. It's high though. Could still be caught by Bobo. It is. It's bounced off the backboard. Boss gets it. My fault for Bobo again. It has an ILV Esports. Well, if you curtailed that game with a minute on the clock, we would have been a lot more congratulatory about them. Things looked a little bit ropey as we got to the final 30 seconds or so. Astro Zenith able to score 2, get back into it a little bit, but still very encouraging for LV Esports when we compare it to what we saw in the previous game.
Well, earlier in this game, you said that 1-1 would be quite a deserving scoreline, and I think that's more true after Astro Zenith just got those couple of goals in at the end. It does show that these two teams are seemingly quite evenly matched, at least after the first 2 games of the series. I think if ILV had held on to that 3-0 lead, you could have made a case for them being a little unlucky to lose game 1. But it does show that Astro Zenith, they do have offensive potential when they can get forwards. And I wonder what those couple of goals at the end of this game is going to do for the general theme of play and the momentum for both teams in the third game of the series.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Things have been swinging back and forth. It's been a pendulum of a series here, and maybe it's time for it to swing the opposite direction. Maybe that Astro Zenith scoring those 2 goals, maybe Harvey, that was their whole swing in that way. Maybe it's now once again turn for ILV Esports to knock some balls into that blue net, or into that orange net, sorry. So we will be going into game number 3. What has been an interesting series. It's not been fireworks as of yet, but it could burst into life at any moment, I feel.
If Irrelevant Esports score an own goal in this game, I'm going to have you down as commentator's cursor for saying that at the very beginning. We will see what happens. It could be the first goal at the right end, but Teaser makes a good save there. Hype is going to push the ball back into the centre. Bobo makes the clear. Early pressure though for Irrelevant Esports as they look to get back onto the front foot after their poor finish to the previous game. Good pass in field from Charm, looking for Bossy, and I think they've just overplayed it there. There's a shot across the face of the goal by Hype, but that one's going to hit the post. Astro Zenith cannot get out of their own half.
Not at all. It's a bit of a disaster at the moment, considering, you know, they didn't want to repeat of last game. They wanted to get things going. They wanted to be on the front foot, but once again, they're the team that's having the whole game played in their half. They're doing all the defending. That's a shot allegedly registered. I don't know how, Bobo. That was never going anywhere near the net. Charm with a chance to shoot the opposite direction. The knockdown is good. Boss is there, able to find it. The second phase of play, you know, one player takes a really tame shot, like we just saw there. Not Boss's one, earlier than that. Then, you know, you're just able to find the knockdown. You're able to keep that attack going. Something to be said about it, Herbie.
Yeah, these rebound opportunities are proving good bread and butter for ILV's offense at the moment, and that's exactly how they've gotten their first goal of this game free. So they score first for the second time in this series. Astro Zenith now will look to try and tie things up, perhaps a little before they go down by 3. Don't want to be making that a habit in this series. They are coming forwards on the counter-attack, but that was a team bump there from Teaser on Instinct that's going to prevent them from getting forwards. Bossy will clear back to the halfway line. Bobo couches the ball, takes a touch and now tries to steer towards the net. Not going to get that one on target. Teaser's clear is awkward. They'll get a much better one that is headed towards the opposition goal. It stays 1-0 90 seconds into this one, but Astro Zenith looking like they might get an equaliser.
There's some signs of life within the Astro Zenith side. Maybe the pendulum, as we said, the proverbial pendulum swinging again. The thing about pendulums, they're always moving. The pendulum of this game at the moment, threatening to go Astro Zenith's way. They have got the ball at the moment. Instinct up in the air, gets it, gets another touch on it. Charm able to win that 50 with his superior momentum, and all of a sudden the defense has evaporated. 2 players to attack it. I probably should have hit it a bit better than that. Ended up spinning it sort of in the weird place where it was just wide of the post, but it was neither a shot nor a good centre. Charm, that is definitely a shot, needed some saving from Instinct. At the moment, this game, it feels like anyone's game again. It feels like we're back to game number 1, where things are a lot more even. It does feel more open, as now we've seen that both teams are able to score goals.
But still just the 1 on the board in this third game of the series with Irrelevant Esports looking to put Astro Zenith to the sword and take a big step towards securing their place in tomorrow's Division 1 playoff fixtures. Bossy makes a block on the halfway line here and goes for goal. Will it roll in? Not quite. Boverly gets back to make the save, but that could have easily been 2-0 to Irrelevant Esports. Instead it is Instinct on the far side trying to keep possession. They've put Charm off a little bit, but Charm continues forward into the corner. Teaser makes the clear. There's a bump in midfield here that might allow Astro Zenith to come forwards. Oh my goodness! What a pinch over the top of the defender there. No chance for the Irrelevant Esports player to read that.
Well, Astro Zenith's goals, they have been few and far between. When you're going to score, you may as well make it spectacular. That's exactly what Teaser's done there. An excellent goal. Sees things tied up with 2 minutes to go. It's Astro Zenith, who have been on the back foot throughout most of the series. But now they're back to parity, they're back level, and they might just kick on from it. Teaser, the ball in the air, looking to try and get another spinning aerial goal. Not able to get it. Charm with a good block. Instinct up in the air, no bump coming through. It's a double commit. Thankfully no one attacking it. That's a weird bump there. Oh, it almost worked out perfectly. Had Charm been able to redirect that one towards the net. I think it was Teaser, sorry. Who's going to centre it, Boss to clear it. Certainly improving, Herbie. The series getting a lot more entertaining, and I don't know which way this next game is going to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Game 3 could be the pivotal moment of the series, and it's still either teams for the taking, but Irrelevant Esports are the team in possession right now. Bobo Liak makes it clear to the halfway line, and now it's Charm to send it back. That was a decent pass, looking for Bossy at some speed, but they might just be caught out on the counter-attack here. It's a bit of carnage in midfield as both teams try and take possession. What is happening? Somebody touched the ball, for the love of God. Finally into the opposition half it goes from Irrelevant Esports, but sent back down the middle by Bobo Liak, and that ends a chaotic stretch of play for Astro Zenith, the team that take the lead.
Yeah, it feels like that might be like... Oh, sorry, no, that is an Astro Zenith goal. I was going to say Astro Zenith. It feels like half their goals have been goals exactly like that. It's another one to be added to the pile. Their second of this game, and it's been an absolute gift given them to them by ILV, and they've got an AFK player here. This is going to make this incredibly difficult. It's all falling apart here for ILV. One man down, Teaser looking to exploit. It's Instinct, he's missed it in the air. Thankfully Charm, the third man back, he's not able to get something on it. Hype able to hit it away in the end, so it's going to be another shot. Lofted in, Charm's hit it up in the air. Hype jumping down, loses out to Instinct and Astro Zenith. I think they've secured this one here. Incredibly unfortunate considering what's happened to Boss. But I mean, if you're Astro Zenith, you still have to kick on. You have to just get the win. You know, if it turns out being a game restart, so be it. But you have to just win when you have the chance.
Yeah, you can't stop playing in these situations. It is the playoffs, and they've done the right thing there by continuing to press forward, because it looks like ILV are willing to continue. At least the two players that they had left certainly continue to keep playing. It looks like Astro will roll in one more with 20 seconds to go. And we don't know what's happened to Bossy at the moment. It doesn't look like they're lagging. The two other ILV players have continued the entire time. Hopefully the problems are resolved in the next game of the series.
Apparently he keeps disconnecting. I think that's in terms of internet as opposed to like from the server, because he has been here the whole time. John taking that ball under his wing, instinct to knock it forward, try and find that fifth goal. Sort of the icing on the I don't know, it's not quite a fulfilling cake considering you're playing 3v2. Boss once again in the net. Might be able to touch it off the wall, so we'll be hitting the ground in Astro Zenith. They get a game win in slightly dubious circumstances, take control back of the series and put themselves one game away from reaching the next round of this upper bracket.
Yeah, so it's been a while since I've seen a best of five as bizarre as this one, frankly. There's strange occurrences in every game. Astro Zenith have capitalised on that on two separate occasions now, as they saw out their one-goal lead, turned it into a 4-1 advantage with ILV Esports down a man. The remaining two players did a decent job of defending against the Astro Zenith attack, to their credit, only conceding a pair. I'm not sure what's going to happen in this game for the series. If all three players are back and ready to go, how impacted upon are they going to be by those sort of delays that were caused in the previous one?
Yeah, we are going to take the full minute between the games, give the players the time to try and sort something out. Controller keeps disconnecting is the problem. Hopefully he has another one lying about in his room. We are going to be sitting waiting, hoping ILV gets something sorted. Get back into this game shortly. We've had a lot of time issues today, and I thought we'd get it all sorted turby. With making the switch Div 2 to Div 1, we're back on time, and all of a sudden something like this blindsides. It's a little bit disheartening, but hopefully it all works out in the end, and we get to see hopefully a thrilling 2-game conclusion to what has been not the greatest series in the world, but one that's certainly been entertaining.
Well, the relevant esports do have subs in the offing, and they have the potential to make one. And I think it may be in their best interests if Bossy is not ready to get back into this series in due course. They certainly can't afford for another incident like that to happen, or face dropping down into the lower bracket. Still have a chance to make the Division 1 Sunday matches, of course, but you don't want to be doing it via the lower bracket. That equals a lower seed for your team and therefore a more difficult opening round fixture tomorrow. So this is the series to be winning, and Astro Zenith, they've come through these strange incidents and they have a 2-1 series lead now. Opportunity to close out what would ultimately be a pretty good day to get themselves into the top half of the bracket for tomorrow, having started in the previous round and taking that 5-game victory over Godalian's Divinity. Their path has certainly been a little more beaten so far tonight.
Yeah, both teams have worked incredibly hard, not just in terms of playoffs, but in terms of league play, to get themselves into this position. So many teams, so many games. Got to keep the head up, keep fighting so many times, and they've come through worse scrapes than this, I'm sure. ILV Esports, of course, both teams will have that little bit of a safety cushion, knowing that if they lose this, it isn't the end of the road. They will have one more game at least to keep their playoff hopes alive, though, of course, it is much better to win all your games, get through the upper bracket nice and easy, get into that championship Sunday, and take the rest of the evening off.
Goal news now from the other match, which is currently ongoing on the main channel. And the other irrelevant esports roster in action currently is faring slightly better. That series is tied 1-1, but they are leading comfortably 5-2 with 90 seconds to go in the third game of that series.
Yeah, I imagine it'd be hard for them to fare worse. We are going to be having substitution, Boss being subbed out for Serenity, so hopefully they can try and adjust quickly. Playing with a sub is so difficult, especially when it's not like a 4-man roster sub. It's a proper someone is not injured, someone is unable to play. We need to make a quick substitution. We need to make a quick change. As Boss has left the server, waiting for Serenity to get in, then we get back into it. Don't go anywhere. Shouldn't be very long now. So Herbie, do you want to tell us a little bit about what games we have coming up in the future in terms of this evening, and maybe if you want to tomorrow as well?
Well, a quick notation just before I do get onto that. Boss has been subbed out for Serenity, who is an English player, so it's all English comms now for Irrelevant Esports. We'll see if that potentially has a positive impact upon how they fare in the remainder of this series. But yes, there are more matches coming up tonight. There are two more on this channel, the seeding round, which of course is not pivotal to who advances in the playoffs, but as I've already mentioned, the higher your seed, the better a fixture you're going to get tomorrow. So that will contain the winner of this fixture and the winner of the other fixture involving the Nameless Paradox, I believe. And after that, lower bracket second rounds on both this channel and the main channel to cap off tonight's Division 2/1 streams. And those are where we see last chance opportunities and some real hype will occur because one team will be going home and the other will be advancing to the Sunday matches in both cases. Those are the last ditch opportunities. And one of these two teams, of course, is in danger of being slotted into one of those fixtures to close out the evening. Not the goal of either side. Astro Zenith are the closest to getting themselves into the Sunday fixtures as they have a 2-1 series lead. Irrelevant Esports making this substitution. The winners of Division 1.1 have to come from behind.
Yeah, someone in the server said that they were ready, but there's still 8 people in, so I'm not sure if they fully realize what's happening. Serenity is in the server. Let's try and get this one underway nice and quickly here. We've been winning quite a while. Want to get things back on track, get things back on schedule. Do you think ILV Esports, do you think the substitution will do them any good, or do you think it's just going to help in their descent into the lower bracket?
Well, Serenity is a player that I recognise as a typical regular for Blizzard Wizards and now Irrelevant Esports, so I think it's not going to hurt them in the sense of chemistry. Serenity is very used to playing for this roster, and well, this is a team that won Division 1.1, and of course any team that has the ability to win their division in league play has usually got something up their sleeves in the difficult moments, and this certainly qualifies as one of them. And in the context of a team who will have the self-belief that they're going to make a deep playoff run, this is very early in that playoff run to be getting tested, so they need to try and not only come through it, but come through it with flying colours, and this is the total opposite of that. It's a goal against, 37 seconds in. Astro Zenith on the block from Teaser. Instinct lived up to their name and pinched in a goal.
Yeah, Astro Zenith have had the majority of the ball, the majority of the chances. Serenity, don't know if they're coming in cold or hot, but either way, it's so difficult to come into a series, and so I'm not surprised by this start. Astro Zenith, they're going to try and turn the gears, get this one over with before this Serenity-inspired Irrelevant Esports side get themselves back into gear, get themselves back ready into this series. Trying to kill this one off soon. At the moment, they're not on the ball, though. Charm has a chance to shoot. Does hit it straight into Bubble League. Instinct trying to hit that ball down the other direction. It's going to be taken under the wing by a Hype. Here's the Teaser to get it forward. It's a double demo comes through, and Teaser's able to hit into an open net. That's a perfect bump play.
And it's 2-0 to Astro Zenith, who are rolling. Very nicely done for them. And so far so good in going forward this series, not really being tested by Relevant Esports going the other way. The roster change has amounted to a single shot on target and 2 goals against as we elapse the first minute of Game 4. Astro Zenith in cruise control at the moment. What can the Relevant Esports do to turn it around? This is a big moment for them.
Big moment indeed, at least. They're not staring defeat, not staring going out in the face, they are staring defeat in the faces. It's now 3 goals to the bad. I mean, we saw a minor comeback come through before it, and to Astro Zenith were able to score 2 goals, make it 3-2. I think that this Irrelevant Esports side, they'd have to go one better to tie this up.
Next kickoff comes through between Hype and Bovo Leak, and it's a good win for Astro Zenith, who are attempting to go 4 goals up in a game where their offense has suddenly exploded into life. We haven't really seen anything from them like this, not just in this series, but in the previous one as well. Perhaps the timeout has just given them a little bit of offensive impetus.
Yeah, and also playing against a slightly shuffled defense. They shuffled the pack. Maybe it's allowed them to find some new openings, find some new spaces, and get those goals up. Ball's knocked into the centre. Teaser with time and space able to take it down. Only takes it down in front of Hype. Hype going for the double touch. Hype's not going to get it. Bobo coming off the ceiling, able to hit that one into the ground and take it away from the goal line. Instinct now knocking it forward. Looking to chase perhaps. Hype's up for it on the wall. He's missed it. Charm's on the line, able to get that away. Not the first time. Charm's just been able to sweep that ball away. Playing at that back line has been incredibly effective half the time, but the problem is there's just so many chances being created that he can't stop them all.
Teaser up off the ceiling now. Hype and Serenity had a chance to shoot. There was no defender back on the line there. Big opportunity for Irrelevant Esports, who really need a goal sooner rather than later. We are over the 50% mark of this game 4 in Utopia Coliseum. Still a 3-goal deficit for Irrelevant Esports. Charm has a shot there. Serenity rushes back to take possession on. Now gets the mid boost and has a chance to centre it. Looking for Hype in front. That shot is not going to go. It's Hype to take over from the ceiling now. Looks for the extra touch but doesn't get it. In fact, Teaser, is this going all the way? Charm's got a tough save to make. It comes off the post. Bobo Leak is there for the follow-up. They're not going to get it. Serenity has negotiated midfield well.
Negotiated it incredibly well. Now looking to put that ball in the net. Not going to happen. Serenity the sub, turning down the other end. It's a 1v1. Excellent shot. Oh, it's just over the bar. Looked incredibly good from Serenity. Just a matter of centimetres instinct. Stopping Serenity getting it in at the second bite of the cherry. Bobo going up for that one. Blocked incredibly well. Oh, it's excellently team block there coming through. Charm might have a chance. Second time basking, not quite. 1 goal now would kill it for Astro Zenith. They're not able to find it at the moment. Now Hype and Co going down the other end, looking to try and find that goal that sparks the comeback. They found it.
Well, 1:16 left and Serenity has Irrelevant Esports on the board. The substitute has come up big for them at a moment where they desperately needed offense. It's a hugely powerful shot that the defender gets a touch to, but just too much behind it. And now 3-1. What do Irrelevant Esports have in the tank? You'd assume it's plenty, given that one of these players hasn't even been involved in the series up to this point. Serenity is looking for Hype in front of the net. Charm is maybe there on the far post, committed late. Now Bobo Leak is going to make the clear. Teaser looks for Bobo Leak with the pass. What a goal for Astro Zenith on the counter-attack. Rate makes it 4-1 with a minute to go.
Oh, that's going to be the goal that kills them, I feel. A 3-goal margin with a minute to go. It's a little bit too tall of a task. Stranger things have happened, though. Irrelevant Esports, they're looking to put balls to the wall here. Give everything they've got. Chance for a kick-off goal there. Thankfully, that was well read by Astro Zenith and not a colossal mistake. They might get their 5th here. Miss in the air coming through from Teaser. Miss again from Teaser. Hype's going to be having a chance here. Charm in the centre. Maybe pick him out. He has picked him out. It's off the backboard. Landing in the centre. It's missed by Serenity. That's going to be a disaster, and that's going to be 5-1, I think, unless Hype be able to cut across and make an excellent save. Why have we not seen a goal here, Herbie? It's been an action-packed 30 seconds.
And it's still very much in Astro Zenith's favour. ILV need 3 goals in 30 seconds to keep themselves in the winner's bracket, and it's just not looking too likely at this point. But Serenity had an open net and missed it entirely. My goodness, that was a chance that you have to bury. Their confidence is not going to be running too high, but the lower bracket is going to be where they're headed now. Full credit has to go to Astro Zenith. They've managed to win 2 best-of-5s in these last couple of hours or so. They do ultimately deserve their victory, even if it has come in rather strange fashion against the champions of Division 1.1. But it doesn't matter how you got there. All that matters is the results that have come. An Astro team is into Championship Sunday. Irrelevant Esports drop down to the lower bracket.
Yeah, excellent work by Astro Zenith. Able to dispatch an Irrelevant Esports team, which at the start of the series looked to be much better than them. Able to grow into it, get the goals that were needed after a really lackluster first 2 games. Got things going and were able to secure what looked like a fairly comfortable victory in the final 2 games. Of course, with the circumstances, it has to be factored in. But they won't care. They're into the next round of the upper bracket, the seeding round. Which will be on stream next, I believe. Herbie, where are you off to next? Are you finished your Eternal casting?
No, Eternal casting never sleeps. I am back for one more match at 10:15. That is over on the A stream. But here on the B stream, as you mentioned, Muzz will be stepping into the casting booth in my stead to bring you the seeding round. And after that, of course, the lower bracket second round. Sure to be 2 very entertaining fixtures to close out what has certainly been a lengthy stream for both the Slipstream channels. But it's not over just yet. We will be back in a few minutes' time for the seeding round.